Hello, exceptional students of Mrs. Whitney's. So we're now on to lesson 3.4, which is solving algebraic equations with multiplication and division. You've done the pair deck already, and when you did that, you kind of again practiced with multiplying things on both sides and dividing things on both sides to keep an equation equal. So the multiplication property of equality and the division property of equality basically say the same thing that the addition and subtraction properties did also, is that if you multiply something to one side and multiply it to the other side, and as long as you're multiplying the same thing, then your equation remains equal. Same thing, if you divide by one side and you divide the same thing on the other side, they still remain equal, as long as what you're dividing by is not 0, because remember, you can't divide by 0. So solving equations. So we're going to start with solve x divided by 3. Remember, something over another number is three things. It's either a fraction, or it's a division problem, or it's a ratio. And we will get to ratios soon. So let's talk about x divided by 3. Think about it as a division problem, and life gets a little bit easier. So x divided by 3 is equal to -6. So my first step is going to be to undo the division. And I'm going to change my pen color for this because I think it might make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to change it. So if it's x divided by 3, I am going to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides. So I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3. I have to multiply this side also by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, right? These guys, I'm going to change my color again. These guys become 1, so I'm left with 1x, or x is equal to -6 times 3, which is -18. So my answer is -18. Well, let's check to see if that works. So if I say -18 divided by 3, does that equal -6? Well, 18 divided by 3 is 6. Divided negative by a positive, I end up with a negative result. So yes, -6 does equal -6. All right, let's try 18 is equal to 4 times x. Change back. So 18 is equal to -4y. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is undo the multiplication. Because remember, the math that goes on between the -4 and the y is multiplication. So I'm going to divide both sides by -4. So -4 divided by -4 is 1. So I am left with y. Or negative divided by negative is a positive. Okay, 18 divided by 4. Well, we're going to have to do some long division, so let's go over here. 18 divided by 4. 4 goes into 18, not 5 times, because that'd be 20, so 1 less than 5 would be 4. 4 times 4 is 16. With 2. I'm going to bring down a 0. 4 goes into 25 times, so my answer is 4 5/10. My answer is negative, because a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So does it matter that it's -4 5/10 is equal to y? No, there's no law in the world that says the variable has to go first. You can leave it that way. If it upsets your feng shui, you can move it the other way. But both are true algebraic sentences. Doesn't matter which way you choose. Oh, I'm going to add a thing over here and say my second step is to divide. Don't forget to take down all the notes. Okay, so now let's talk about a fraction as a coefficient. So let's talk about what -4/5 x means. It really means -4 times y divided by 5, because x we treat as x over 1. So if it's -4x divided by 5, I can multiply this by something called the reciprocal. And the reciprocal means that whatever I multiply this by, has to equal 1. So if I multiply that by 5 over 4, 5 divided by 4, I'm going to stick my little negative sign in there so don't forget it. 5 divided by 5 equals 1. 4 divided by 4 equals 1. Or if you want to multiply it out, it's positive 20 divided by positive 20, which is also 1. So I end up with x by itself. I could take the extra steps to multiply by 5 and cancel the 5 out and multiply and divide by 4 and cancel 4 out. But this is way easier to multiply by the reciprocal. So let's start here. I have negative 4 fifths x is equal to negative 8. Remember, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply it by 5 fourths, and don't forget your negative. Negative 5 times negative 4 is 20. 4 times 5 is 20. So I'd end up with 20x. Remember, if I multiply it on one side, I have to multiply on the other side. This would be equal to 40. 8 times 5 is 40 fourths. Well, now I'm going to simplify. 20 divided by 20 is 1, gives me x. 40 divided by 4 is 10. Let's check that out. So if I have negative 4 fifths times 10, does that equal negative 8? Well, negative 40 divided by 5, does that equal negative 8? 40 divided by 5 is 8. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. So yeah, negative 8 divided by, or negative 8 is equal to negative 8. All right, let's try another. Let's try 1/2 x is equal to negative 3. Well, I'm going to do the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply it by 2 divided by 1. If I multiply it by one side, I have to multiply it by the other side. So 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So I get 2 over 2x is equal to negative 6. That becomes 1. So x is equal to negative 6. Let's find out if that's true. So 1/2 times negative 6, does that equal to negative 3? Well, 1/2 of negative 6 is negative 3, so it's true, and I'm correct. Okay, so a real-life application. So the record low temperature in Arizona is 1 6/10 times the record temperature in Rhode Island. So we're going to say that Arizona's temp, AZ's temp, is 1 6/10 times the temperature in Rhode Island. So Rhode Island temp. Well, from this, we know the record low temperature in Arizona is negative 40. So negative 40 means equality. 1 6/10 times Rhode Island's temperature, which we don't know, so we're going to say T. So 1 6/10 times T. And then we are going to solve this. If this is multiplication, the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 1 6/10. So remember, I said that your reward for surviving units 1 and 2 is that you can use a calculator. So negative 40 divided by 1 6/10, which I don't have my calculator, gives me an answer of negative 25. So the record low in Rhode Island is negative 25, while Arizona, which you think is pretty hot, its record temperature is negative 40. So nice job.